we are back. So we're back on site. Let's do a little run through of how the boys have got on whilst I've been away, where we're at, and I'll explain a few bits about this build. It's a new build, it's in Godalming. As you've seen on the previous videos, we've got the block and beam down already. Bricklayers have been here about 8 or 9 days now. We've got all the internal walls up to the plate height, door lintels in. We're now at the stage where we're about to start getting window lintels in. This job's a little bit different. Instead of a 100mm cavity, it's a 200mm cavity. That's just down to the customer's request and the architect's request. So it's still the same build up, 100mm thermalite, but we've gone 200mm thick of cavity bats and 100mm plasma or fiberlite concrete block. Like I said, we've got door lintels in. This is the snug stroke living room. This in here is the downstairs cloakroom. We've got the soil pipe internal running into a main drain on the outside, and then this is the hallway. The stairs will be going up here. There's one of the bricklayers. Say hello, Dane.
Hello, boys.
In here you've got the office. So again, 200mm cavities all the way around. One of the lintels is there. They've been custom made by Keystone to accommodate the 200mm cavity. So you've got an 85mm outside leaf, the bridge for the 200mm cavity, and then an 85mm internal leaf, sorry. So yeah, all round our internal block work is ready to accommodate the lintels going on. Bricklayers are 2 or 3 courses away from the outside, getting them lintels on. In here we've got the utility. This house is having a heat pump instead of a combi boiler. You still have a water tank that will go there, and when it comes to putting the heat pump in, we'll do a little bit more explanation on that, hopefully get a run through with our heat pump installer. Right, so up on the scaffold, this here is the same height on the internal block all the way around, and on the internals we've got the easy joists, posi joists turning up today. Once we've got our window lintels in on the outside, we can start probably early next week, start running the joists in across here all the way through to the front. Whilst we're waiting for these bricklayers over here, they're cracking on getting some corners up on the front now. Where the boys are there, we've got a couple of the steels. So that one you can see there is the bifold steel. That's going to go up onto these pad stones. What the structural engineers spec'd up for them to go on the inside and out. So that'll sit across here. It's about 5 metres the opening, so that will bridge the gap for the sliders that are going below it. Yeah, like I said, lintels to go in. They're quite big lintels, so if you look down that, like I was explaining earlier, you've got this bit to bridge the cavity, 85mm leaf, and the steels to go in. So first steel in, bifold one's up and on the pad stones. It's got M10 bolts bolting the outside steel to the interior one, and then like I explained earlier, that these parts here will just have the cavity bats sat on top of them. So it's 2 pad 12s, there's just a block size pad stone inside and out, and if you have a look down there, so with these steels, if you set them back sort of 10, ideally 15 mil, so when the blockwork continues up past, you can strike a muck joint across the front, and then the steel is completely sealed. On the front here, this house is getting a one coat render system, so that'll have a render bead to it, and then you won't see any of the front of this steel here. On the inside, we've gone flush, and when it comes to dot and dab plasterboard, the inside of the steel will have like a 4x2 timber, upright, bolted all the way along, fitted all the way along, and then you can tack to that or batten it out to allow for the dot and dab. Comes out sort of 10-15 mil. So yeah, if you set your timbers out a little bit, that plasterboard can just sail all the way up. So yeah, looking good. Still got 3 more steels to put in on the ground floor. So as and when we get them up and these lintels go in, I'll put some more videos on, do some more explaining on the steels. With the steels, you can't just put whatever size steel you think suitable. You have to get like a structural engineer to design a steel before you've even started the job, really. That's what we've done. We got our steels from Surrey Steels, good company that we've used for a long time in Rains Park near Wimbledon. They're fantastic. Get us on like a 2 to 3 day lead time. So once one of the guys sends over the drawing and the length, we'll have it on site within sort of 3 days normally, which is really good. Don't slow the job down. The lintels we used on the doorways are 140 mil tall, 100 mil thick to take the 100 mil block, and then obviously the length is determined by the opening size. So here we've got a pocket door system going, so it's quite a wide opening. On your standard sort of doors, your 30-inch door, we've gone like a 1200 mil lintel like here, and then gone with, in an ideal world, you've got 100 to 150 mil bear on each side is general rule of thumb. Anytime you find yourself like doing steels, if you haven't done them before, the hard work, it's very important to get them bang on. So a couple of, they're not tips and tricks, but if you haven't done them before, this will lead you sort of up the right path. So a rotary laser level, what we've done with that is set the laser to our pad stone height, check that in 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, quite happy with that. So that's just set on like a datum rod, that's the receiver. It will give you a 1 tone when you're absolutely spot on. Next, moving the steels about. I inherited these wheels a long time ago now. They're actually made for moving pianos, but a guy gave them to us when he was clearing his garage out on a job sort of 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that, and they are absolutely perfect for moving steels along, especially when you've got a nice flat surface like the block and beam. They I don't think they would be that expensive if you were to look for something. I know some of the steel distributors sell something very similar, but if you can get a hold of a set, they are an absolute must for me. And then lastly, obviously lifting this steel up sort of 2.4, 2.5 high in the air would near on be impossible without these genie lifts. We've hired these from Surrey Hire, but it's just a simple case. Once you've got the steel on the ground where you want it, slide the genies up under, and then 2 people. We've needed 2. This steel's quite heavy. These are capable of lifting sort of 450 kilos each, but obviously the higher you get it, the less load they can take, so 2 is definitely needed. But it's just a simple case of winding up and down, and it makes life a whole lot easier when you've got the forks directly underneath it, and if you need to make them small increments, it makes it a whole lot easier.